It wasn't long until the sun rose enough that the forest was bright, fully becoming morning. Sounds were being made behind him. Turning his head, James saw that the group was beginning to wake up. Waving his hand at Mim, he said, "How's your nap?" "More than I'm used to when outside the Adventurers Guild." Mim stretched, shaking off the feeling of drowsiness that came from waking up. James nodded, empathizing with the sentiment. "I'm assuming it was a quiet night?" the cat person asked while adjusting his armor from having slept in it. Shrugging, "Basically. The problem is that we don't know what's causing this issue. I also suspect we won't discover the cause until a while, or if the thing decides to reveal itself." James shook his head at the situation. "I also don't think whatever is following us wants to reveal itself. It's likely just observing us for whatever reason." Mim agreed. "The benefit is that we haven't entered into any dangerous conflicts. It allows us to just focus on getting through the forest on top of building up our strength." A shout of happiness was heard. Both James and Mim turned their heads. Due to the trees obscuring his view, James rushed into the camp. The source of the shouting was revealed to be Sam, who was laughing happily while staring at his bracelet with the display screen opened. "I leveled up! I leveled up!" Sam repeated with a large grin. Knowing how important leveling meant for Sam, everyone that was up gathered around him. The commotion also helped wake up those who were having difficulty getting up. Kate and Peter emerged from under their shelter. Peter had his helmet off and was rubbing his eyes. "What happened?" He looked around. "I think Sam leveled up," Kate yawned. Even after just having woken up, the two walked over to where Sam was still grinning, even after several minutes had passed. Reaching Sam, James patted the larger man on the arm. "Congratulations on leveling up." "Thanks," Sam laughed with unrestrained glee. After everyone had the chance to congratulate him on reaching a new milestone, they gave Sam some room. "How does it feel?" Celine asked. "I mean, it doesn't feel too different," Sam confessed. Those part of Mim's group nodded their heads, understanding what Sam meant. "But it's still a milestone you should feel proud about. You've worked hard to get to this level," Mim said. "That's right. I don't think we'd have reached where we are without you," Naylor said in his usual gruff voice. Raul added, "Our jobs would have been significantly harder without having you take the brunt of a monster's attack with your shield. We'll be counting on you in the future." Even though it wasn't him getting congratulated, James could feel a sense of warmth spreading out from his chest. Like in any community, there was a sense of shared accomplishment. It was as though if one person succeeded, then everyone did. Sometimes it didn't matter if someone else had accomplished something or reached a new milestone. James felt a hand on him. Turning, he saw that it was Maya, who still appeared to be waking up after a short nap. "Morning," he smiled. "Morning." Maya leaned against him as though she was going back to sleep. "I'm guessing it wasn't enough?" James asked after seeing her reaction. Taking a deep breath and sighing, Maya said, "I probably could have used a few more hours, but it's what comes with the job." James nodded at the sentiment. No longer leaning on James, Maya looked at the fire nearest to them. The forest cat was mostly eaten, though there was still plenty of meat. "I'm surprised to see that there's still plenty of food left over," she remarked. Turning to look at the food, seeing that there was still stew in the pot and the uneaten meat, James shrugged. I think people were just tired. Smiling, he said, At least we had breakfast. After everyone had congratulated Sam, they began making their way to the shelters, likely to grab the utensils. Wait here. I'll get your stuff, James said to Maya. Wearily nodding, Maya said, It's in the usual spot. Same with your bowl after I washed it.